Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and again with our friend Shireen. So, Shireen, today's class is day 46. Welcome to day 46. Let's take our hands together and Anjali Mudra, setting an intention for our practice. And then today's class will work on some core work and some shoulders, some leg and hips and hamstrings. So starting off, if you have a strap available, I'm just going to put it just above your elbows. Now, if you don't have a strap, you could use a tie or a belt. And then bring yourself to a wall, lifting your left leg up, bending the right knee, and just taking maybe a little tiny hop up to the wall. Or if your legs will go all the way up, you'll take a handstand here. And if you can, go all the way up, pull the arms away from each other as if you are pulling the strap in half. Keep the belly lifted and reach your tailbone up towards your heels. And squeeze the legs toward each other. And then bend your right knee, slowly take it down, and take the left leg down. And then we'll put the strap off to the side. And then grab your opposite elbows and fold forward into Uttanasana. And then bring your palms again about a foot away from the wall. And then left leg up, right leg a little forward, shoulders over wrists. Maybe a little hop, just a little hop. Or if you can get all the way into your handstand, then you'll come all the way up. Again, reaching the tailbone up to the heels. Come down to rest. Take a child's pose. Handstands are actually a very, very nice way to warm up the whole body. But if it's not for you, just be careful. Maybe just take some little hops instead. And now from here, I'm going to take a reverse handstand, walking the feet up the wall. And your feet can stay on the wall the whole time, or you can take one foot down toward the floor and then the other coming down into a little squat or a child's pose. Stepping up to the front of the mat. Bring your hands together in Samastitihi, mountain pose. Inhale and reach your arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. And exhale, step back just with your left foot, keeping your right heel down underneath your right knee and fingertips on either side. Hover your torso above your right thigh and pull your right hip back. And then bend your left knee and take that knee down and pat up the knee if you need any padding. Reach your arms up as you sink the hips forward. Keep the ribs pulling in, reach the tailbone down. And keep drawing the left hip back. The right hip back, left hip forward. And then arms are reaching up, tuck your back toes under and see if you can hover that knee off the floor, maybe straighten it all the way out. And then take the hands behind the back, interlacing your fingers. As you inhale, open the chest. As you exhale, start to hover forward again above the thigh. Stepping up onto that right foot, we'll lift the left leg up toward Warrior 3 with the hands interlaced behind you. And then slowly just step the left foot forward, but keep it up with the knee bent. So instead of touching the foot to the floor, now we'll extend that left leg forward, drop the outer left hip down, and then reaching for that foot with your right hand, or keep the knee bent and take your right hand to the outside of the knee for a twisted Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana variation. Still with that foot off the floor, we'll take it just over the right leg for Garudasana. So let's see. We got left leg on top of right, so right arm on top of left. And slowly unwind it. Sit back in your imaginary chair, Utkatasana. Sink back, lift the hip points toward the lower ribs, weight into the heels. Sitting back with lots of weight in the heels, and then folding forward. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Keep the left knee over the ankle. Hover above the left thigh. There goes the squeaky door. And on the fingertips, then we'll take the right knee down to the floor. And reaching up, spin your triceps forward, pull your left hip back, sending the right hip forward. And then tuck your toes, lengthen your tailbone, keep your belly lifted. And reaching up with the arms, and then hovering the back knee off the floor, maybe straighten that leg all the way out. Keep the left knee over your ankle. Interlace your fingers, other pinky on top. Open the chest as you inhale to lengthen. And then exhale. Start to come forward, your left shoulder toward the left knee. Keep your spine nice and long, hovering the belly. Start to step up on that left foot. Reach the right leg back. Drop your outer right hip down and spin the inner right thigh up. And then bring the leg forward without touching it to the floor, bending the right knee. Hands to hips. Get your balance. Extend the leg out. And maybe hold the outside of the foot with the left hand or the outside of the knee. Reaching your right arm back. And then back through center. Going to wrap that right leg on top of the left. And then the left arm over the right for Garudasana. Lift the elbows up. Fingertips lifted. Belly lifted. Squeeze the arms, squeeze the legs. And then releasing the arms. And we'll release the legs into chair pose, Utkatasana. And then take a little step back in your chair pose so you're not right at the very front of the mat. So you can take your palms flat. Take your knees up by your armpits, high up as you can. Now squeeze your knees into your arms, or squeeze them toward each other as they rest on your arms. Maybe taking one foot up or both. And this Bakasana is a little bit lower, and then you're going to sit down with your feet down right into Malasana. So it's a little core work to get from Bakasana to just let your feet lightly touch down into our squat. And then we'll come back with the knees to the outsides of the triceps, or nice and high this time toward the armpits. Lean the weight forward, shift it forward, start to pick up one foot at a time or both. Heels toward the buns, and set it down again into Malasana. Bring your hands to the heart center, drop the hips. Knees and toes still in line. So line up your knees with your middle toes. From here, step into down dog. Arms shoulder distance, feet hips width. And inhale to plank pose, top of a push-up. Keep the backs of the knees lifted. Shift forward about an inch. Exhale, shoulders no lower than elbows. Then press back up into plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. And plank pose. Shift forward about an inch. Chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Exhale up to plank. And again, lift the hips back into down dog. If you want a break, take it. Push the pause button, rest. Always your choice. Inhale, plank. Shift forward about an inch. And then just bend the elbows just a teeny bit. Just a little bit. And then shifting forward all the way to the floor. Setting up for a little back bend. Hands by the rib cage. Inhale for a little cobra pose. Lifting up to cobra, and then set the head back down. Interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles toward the back wall, lift up but keep your feet down, and then release the head down. Arms by the ears, lift up everything, the legs and the chest. Arms are reaching forward, keep the belly lifted, pubic bone presses down while tailbone reaches to heels. Keep breathing and lower down. And then one more time, arms by the ears, reach forward, extend the legs, lift them up from the inner thighs. Keep breathing, and release down. Hands by the rib cage, elbows straight up. And then tuck your toes under. We're going to press all in one piece to downward facing dog. You can keep your knees down. And then lift the hips back into down dog. Keeping the hips up nice and high. Look forward, step or jump hands, feet to hands. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Reach up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Weight into the heels. Drop the tailbone, lift the hip points up. And then hands to heart center. I'm going to keep some length in the torso. And then hook your left arm across to the outside of the right leg. Now pull your left hip back. So look at your knees. If your left knee is ahead of the right knee, left hip needs to pull back. Keep the weight into the heels. Now picking up the left foot off the floor, balancing just on the right foot. We'll step back right into a prayer twist. So make sure your right knee is still over your ankle. And then we'll come right into crescent all the way through center. Straighten your front leg. Take your hands to your hips. Take your back foot flat. And exhale forward into pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Pull the right hip back. Squeeze your inner thighs toward each other. Keep the spine nice and long. Rebending your front knee. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Lift that back leg right up into a standing split. So as you lift the leg up, you'll lift it from the inner thigh. Let the outer hip drop down or wrap down. Maybe take your hands off the floor, palms touch toward the chest, balancing. And then release the hands back down. Step your feet together. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Chair pose, weight into the heels. Sink back, press the shins back. Hands to heart center. Get some length through the spine. And then exhale your right arm across. Hook it to the outside of the left knee. And dropping down through the tailbone. Turn the chest toward the thumbs. Now press the weight onto the left leg. Pick up the right foot. And slowly step it back for crescent pose. You might need to scooch it back a little to make sure your left knee's over the ankle. Now we're in twisted crescent. Palms right toward the center of the chest as you make your twist. And release the hands back to the mat. Take your back foot flat. And now we'll straighten the front leg for pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, stay right where you are or fold over the front leg. And then rebend the front knee, lifting the right leg up from the inner thigh. Let the outer hip wrap down. Nice level hips. And then maybe you'll take your hands up off the floor, a prayer position at the heart. Release the hands down and step your feet together. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Now taking your toe, bringing your hands underneath your feet for Pada Hastasana. Pada's on the hasta, feet on the hands. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold in. So if your legs are straight here, make sure to firm your quadricep muscles. Inhale, lengthen, release the hands, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then we'll cross the right ankle just above the left knee. Take your hands to your hips, lengthen through the spine so you should feel a nice hip stretch. Keep dropping the right hip down. Nice level hips. Flex your left ankle. Bring your hands together at the chest. See how long the back is? We want to keep that length in the spine. And then if you can reach to the floor, you'll take your hands to the floor and fold all the way forward. And then halfway up again. Hands to heart center. Uncross the leg, extend it back. Now we're in a warrior 3. The hands at the heart, and then drop the hands down and lift the left leg back to a standing split. And then we'll set it back down. And inhale, coming on up into warrior 1. Right foot is in front. Take the hand back down into chaturanga. Inhaling up and exhaling back into down dog. Our roommate just returned. Look forward. Step or hop feet to hands. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale. Press down. Reach all the way up. Utkatasana. Weight into the heels. Knees are bent. Shins are back. Tailbones lengthening. And then pick up the left foot. Take it just above the right knee. Flex your left ankle. And start to fold over your leg, keeping the spine long. Oh, I guess we did the wrong leg. So it's right ankle above left knee. So left foot's down and right foot is up. We're going to fold over that leg. Lengthen on the inhale, so keep that nice length. Maybe fingertips will come to the floor, maybe they won't. Then hands to heart, coming halfway up, extend the right leg back, warrior 3. Point the right toes straight down to the floor, and then step that foot back. And then we'll take the back foot flat with the hands on the floor. Keep pulling the left hip back. Inhale and come up, warrior 1. Left hip's pulling back, the right hip's coming forward. Draw the ribs and belly in. Hands to the heart. Bring your fingertips back to the floor. And then step back, plank pose, and chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog, exhaling back to down dog. Stretching back. Rest if you want to rest. Push the pause button if you like. Look forward, step or float through to seated. Coming through to sit. Crossing at the shins. In Sukhasana, bring your hands in front of the hips. Just a little in front. Press down, lift up. Maybe you can bring your feet through. And then extend the legs in front of you again. Cross at the shins or the ankles. Hands just in front of the hips. Press up. Draw the legs back and extend them out again. So if you don't press up all the way, no worries. Just press up any amount, anything. It doesn't even have to come off the floor. Malasana pose, a little squat. Feet are wider than hips distance. No toes and knees are tracking. And then fold forward with wide legs. Now bring your right arm underneath your right leg and your left arm underneath your left leg. Bring your hands behind your heels for Bhujapadasana. Bhujapadasana means shoulder pressing pose. So you're going to squeeze your legs on your arms like crazy. And then maybe you'll come back slowly into your forward fold. Extending back into a nice wide-legged down dog, a little shorter than normal. Bring your right hand to your left ankle. Do a little twist. So you can take it to the ankle. You can move it up. And turning and release it. Back into your shortened down dog. And then left hand over to your right foot for the twist on the other side. Try and keep your hips level as you can. And then release back into a regular down dog. So a little bit longer feet hips width. Look forward, step or float through and sit. And then we'll bend the right knee. And then taking your right hand behind you, I'm going to bend the left knee in front for Ardha Matsyendrasana. So the the right knee is on the bottom, the left foot is on top. I think that was right. Sorry, I got a little confused. Pick up and step back down, and now we're in Navasana pose. Lift the chest, sitting up nice and tall. You can hold your legs if you like. Knees can be bent or straight. Keep your chest lifted, nice long spine. And lower, hold on to the knees. And then back to Navasana. And now let's see if I can get this right. Let's see if we can both get this right. So the right leg's on the bottom, the left is on top. You're going to bring your right arm across, left hand behind the back for the twist. That's it. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Unwind your twist, cross your ankles, lift up any amount, set back down. Navasana, boat pose. Nice long spine. Now, Ardha Navasana, lean back like you're going to lay down, but you didn't quite lay down. If that hurts your back, don't do it. Then lift your legs up, make your way to the floor, cross your right ankle in front of your left ankle. Lift the head and shoulders off the floor, and then switch the cross. You'll be lifting the head and shoulders, squeeze the legs, and uncross them. Bring your head and shoulders down for a moment. And then lift them off again. Chest is lifted. Take your legs down about a third, then another third, and then, oh goodness, about halfway down or so. And then we'll lift them back up slowly. Not quite to the top. Opening the chest and lift them all the way up. Now bring just your left leg down and reach your whole torso over to the outside of the right leg. Left leg will go down again and then lift it up. Inhaling. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale and lower it down. And then lower both legs down back into that little hover above the floor. Lift up with both legs. Right leg almost to the floor, hovering. Take your hands to the outside of the left arm. And then lift the right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, lower it almost to the floor. Let it hover. Inhale it up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift it. Exhale, lower. Inhale the leg up. And then exhale both legs down. Hover them above the floor. If it hurts your back, you can put your hands under your hips. Lift the legs up. And then reach your hands for your feet. So lift and lift and lift. Like you're going to touch the toes. Lift, lift, and lift. Just little pulses. Release. Hug the knees in. Rock yourself side to side. That looked hard. I bet you're tired. I would be. And then start to rock yourself up. So take a couple of rocks back and forth. Just up and down the spine. That should feel nice. And then extend the legs out to the sides for Upavista Konasana. Toes and knees will point up to the ceiling. Outer hips will roll down toward the floor. Bring your hands behind your back. Either reverse namaste or press your fists together. Keep the knees and toes pointed up, firm in the legs. As you exhale, we'll hinge from the hips to come forward any amount. Maybe you won't come forward at all. Maybe it's better to stay sitting up tall. If you're coming forward, though, you're not going to bend from the waist. You're going to hinge forward from your hips. Then inhale. Come on up. Now take your right hand over towards your right foot and try to work that right shoulder in front of the thigh. Maybe reach over for the right foot. Lift the left arm straight up, or you can lift the left arm over toward the right foot as well, but try to bring the bottom ribs forward and spin the top ribs back like you're turning your chest to face the ceiling. Inhale and come up. And now taking your left arm across, to the outside the foot. Maybe take the big toe side of the foot, right arm straight up. You can keep it straight up or take it over in line with your ear. And again, start to bring the bottom ribs forward and spin your top ribs back. And then come back to center. Sit up nice and tall on the inhale. As you exhale, hinging from the hips, come forward. So you want to get as much length through the spine as you can. So we don't want to bend the waist to get the head down. That's not good for our spine. Instead, we want to hinge from the hips and get length. If that doesn't work for you, then don't go very far. Just hinge from the hips, come forward a tiny bit. Take care of our backs. Believe me, take it from one who knows. Inhale and come up. And then we'll come onto our backs. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock yourself gently side to side. And we'll take the legs overhead for a shoulder stand. Now, if you have high blood pressure, glaucoma, or it's your ladies' vacation time, you're not going to go upside down. This is halasana first with the feet on the floor. Keep the chin away from the chest. You could stay with this if you like. We're going to roll back down and Matsyasana, fish pose. I guess we're not going all the way up to shoulder stand. Now, if that bothers your neck, of course, you won't do that one either. Lift the legs off the floor if you can. And then come on down. Hug the right knee into the chest and the left for Apanasana. And then take the pinky toe sides of your feet, draw your knees in, happy baby. And then you can stay with happy baby or cross your right knee on top of your left knee for Gomukhasana legs. Nice hip opener. Grab your feet like handlebars. Maybe bring the feet away from each other for a deeper stretch as you draw the legs in toward your chest. And then switch. Left knee over right. And bring the legs in toward the chest. Good, and release that. Now we'll take the right knee over the left and twist, taking the knees off to the left and looking over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center, cross left over right. Take the knees off to the right, looking left. Twist. And back to center. And we'll extend the legs out. Shoulder blades down toward the waist. Take your hands out to the sides. Feet can flop open. Close your eyes and just relax. Surrender. Let everything go. Shavasana. Starting to reawaken the body. Stretch your arms overhead. Our quote was sent to me by Dee Dee Travers. She's been practicing with us for a long time. This is a quote by Samuel William Bean, who's a successful businessman, expert chess player, and he was also deaf and blind. He says, "The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make others so." Make someone happy. Sit up nice and tall. And bring the hands together in front of your heart. And taking the hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. And our hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Namaste, sending out this beautiful energy to all beings everywhere. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Please push the like button if you liked our class and comments. Let us know what your intention was today. And subscribe if you haven't. Please share the videos. And if you can afford a donation of any amount, there is a link below for donations. They help us to keep our mission going to get free yoga to as many people as possible. Bye.